My name is Heather Roozeboom, and in 1993, I graduated from Chicago Christian, went on to attend and graduate from Hope College, landed my first teaching job in the Chicago public school system in 1999, and was hired to teach at Chicago Christian in the fall of 2000. In the 14 years I spent teaching at CCHS, I taught almost every English class, dabbled in communications, current issues, PE, and foods, my favorite and most challenging class to teach, before finally settling into the Spanish department. I also coached volleyball and softball for 10 years each. With so many experiences in so many different areas in my time at Chicago Christian, there is a lot that I could talk about. But tonight, I want to testify to the transformation that started in 2011 and continues to this day. It's what I really love about CCHS, and that is the community. In 2011, under the direction of Principal Eric Ellefson and the leadership of Student Council President Adam Lindemulder, the Student Council presented the school theme for that year. It was simple yet profound: community. It was a theme that the students wanted to focus all the activities of the year around. It was embraced and supported by the principal, but it was created and driven by the students themselves. This wasn't something the adults were telling them to do. It was their idea. And so throughout the year, Adam and other members of Student Council were purposely put in front of the student body in chapels and assemblies to speak about and fortify the message that we are one community, that everyone belongs and matters. Every school activity that we did together was tied to this idea that we are one. Hearing that message over and over from the students themselves started to change the culture of Chicago Christian. Instead of it being a place you had to try to fit into, especially if you were new to the community, they were making it a place where you already belonged, and that mattered. Another moment that contributed to this cultural shift happened the following fall. The day before the first home football game of the season, the entire football team stood on stage in front of the student body with their away jerseys in hand. They had each chosen a teacher that they wanted to give their jersey to so that they could wear them on Friday during the school and then to the game that night. I personally thought that this was the coolest thing ever, and I definitely ran down the aisle to get mine from Corey Bultice. The reason this event stands out to me is not because of the image of Stuart Culver getting his very slim jersey stuck above his belly and Chip Dykema coming over to help him pull it down and struggling to do so. It was because of what this gesture symbolized. It said a lot without using any words at all. In this moment, they were saying that high school isn't teachers versus students, but we are all in this together. We are all part of this community. The teachers matter too. There's one more factor that I think has helped create a positive environment at Chicago Christian, and that is the reteaching and retesting that occurs in each department. For so long in education, students have had to learn things by a certain deadline, get tested on them, get a grade, and move on, being stuck with the results with no way to improve them. If you were a good student who learned easily, the system was fine. But if you struggled, it was difficult. And students who struggle can get defensive and calloused and discouraged with school, often vocalizing their frustration and saying how stupid school is in an attempt to protect themselves from the weight of failure. But when CCHS decided that they were going to allow for students who failed to go back and get tutored, relearn the material, and then retest to show that they had indeed learned the information, something again started to change. That I hate school kind of attitude seemed to fade away. This policy seemed to give students hope of learning and succeeding. Maybe it took extra time and more work, but they could do it. And when more and more students are filled with hope rather than despair, it impacts the whole community, and that matters. I love Chicago Christian High School, and I am so grateful to have had a front row seat to how God has been transforming and refining it. When seniors choose to spend the morning of Senior Ditch Day tailgating in the school parking lot and inviting their teachers to join them, that says something about the kind of culture that exists at a school. The students love this place and their teachers. This makes me so excited for our own son to become a Chicago Christian Knight in the future. I want him to experience Spirit Week, Kingdom Building Day, and chapels. I want him to explore groups like DECA, Mock Trial, and Art Club, or Try Theater, or Pep Band. I want him to be coached by people like Nick Cook and Kevin Pittman, who will use sports to teach him how to be a godly man. I want him to be taught by teachers like Phil Seymour, Jessica Rigger, Kim Valender, Christian Altina, and others who will teach him to think critically and creatively with a reformed view of the world. But most of all, I am excited for him to be part of a community where he is welcomed and wanted and already belongs. That's the kingdom of God, and that's what matters most.